Hello, welcome back to Chat About It, Don't Shout About It with me, Rachel, the Queen of the Woke, as crowned by one of my haters. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed already. I couldn't do it without you. The Acolyte seems to be the purveyor of discourse. The Force, without doubt, has now been solidified as female. It's around 9 minutes into the first episode that we were graced with male masculine presence. And what a treat it was to actually see a man on the screen. Yes, I'm now fully caught up on all things Acolyte, and it's time for my review. But before I start, please remember it is okay to like the Acolyte and also okay to not like it. Please leave a comment below as to why you did or did not like it. It would be great to hear from you. Now, there are good points, mediocre points, bad points, and canon destroying points. Let's be honest with you. I can see why people are irritated about it. And to me, I feel like it was changing things for the sake of changing things and things that didn't need to be changed. For example, Jedi not good, Jedi bad, a prequel before the prequels that feels more like Star Wars in names only because they put spaceships, aliens, and lightsabers in it. As I'm doing episodes 1 to 5, I'll be covering key points only, so please do discuss anything that I may have missed in the comments below. Now, I like the idea of opening with a fight. In general, it is a good way to start an episode. However, this is the worst fight in this entire series that I've seen so far. I get that it's supposed to be having a jilted look to it. However, it's way too jilted for my personal taste, at least. There's a rule in combat for stage and screen that actors must make eye contact before making moves. Now, the actresses here definitely did do that, but the movement between the established eye contact and then performing the fight choreography was way too long, so it looked more awkward than what I think it was supposed to be. Now, some of this also can be down to the choreography itself and the intention of the director and the direction that the actors received from the director and the fight choreographer. And, this is why the second fight between May and Sol was better. There was little to no hesitation with it, and it was even better when May and Jackie, because in episode 5, it really needed that fast pace and energy, and they certainly did deliver on that. So I'll give them credit for that. Now let's chat about episode 1 and 3. In episode 1, the story tries to set up the story of trying to make you believe that it was Osha who was responsible for the death in episode 1. However, it was revealed she was a twin, so it became a bit obvious, and it also became very obvious about the twin switcheroo at the end of episode 5. I guess that would happen. What they should have done with episode 1 was taken everything that had happened in episode 3, made the appropriate cuts, and put it all into episode 1. Because in my opinion, episode 3 was way too long, and essentially it dulled any of the momentum that was built in episode 2. Episode 3, The Witch's Coven in Brendok. This is where we get painted with the image of Jedi bad and the Force is female. This canon snubbing episode sees the coven of witches that have been dubbed lesbian space witches. They have the ability to use the Force, which they call the thread, in more ways than one. They use the Force to create twins. That's right. Move over, men. Women just need a different kind of method nowadays. And apparently that's the Force. And this is the moment where I would like to pause in memory of Anakin Skywalker. You are no longer special. You are no longer the chosen one, because the Force is female. Honestly, I can understand why the fans were mad with this one. Talk about changing it for the sake of changing it and putting yourself into the plot, as it's not physically possible to create a baby without a man in some way. There could have been another way of doing it without making changes with the canon and annoying long-time fans who are paying customers. However, this seems to go out of the way to irritate the paying customers, aka the fans. Episode 2 and 4 are essentially bridge episodes with Lord of the Rings style shots, a floating monk, and a quick reminder that pronouns shouldn't be assumed. And this is all before we get to the first lightsaber battle of the series. Now, one of the things that I would like to note is that all of the actors' faces in this episode, episode 5, started to really move. Now, I don't really like calling actors bad because, I know what it's like to be up there and doing it, but I felt like in episodes 1 to 4, their line deliveries were a little stilted and the faces didn't seem to move very much between their eyes and the connection with the facial expressions and their inflections on their dialogue. Now, don't get me wrong, there were flashes of it and I did see it dotted throughout, but I had to look for it because there wasn't enough. Let's also address the lightsaber battle. Now, what did you think of it? Was it the best I've seen? No. To me, it felt like they were using it to hide flaws within potential choreography that may have been cut and hide the actors who were waiting for their cue behind the trees more than anything else. It was a relief, however, to actually get to some more fast-paced stuff, no matter how many openings there were in this choreography. Why are the men being saved by the women? It happens, what, twice in this series so far? And why is it that when Yord is injured in battle, he is very clearly limping, yet when Osha is in the ship crash, there's not a scratch on her? And when May gets hit by the car, she just gets up. Surely those two events would take you out in some way, shape, or form. It would show some kind of injury. So in this episode, we also get the reveal of another Sith. And I was like, what? I thought the Sith were extinct. Didn't they say that the Sith were extinct for a millennia? 1,000 years? I haven't got that wrong, have I? Unless I missed something. And I feel like maybe I've been missing something within the Acolyte, but I'm not wrong, am I? I may be wrong. Now, of course, if we have a Sith, that must mean there is another Sith somewhere. So Quimir must have either a master or an apprentice. Within the lore of Star Wars, there's always two Siths, right? So we should be expecting another one to appear. And episode 5 also implies that the Jedi have more to do with the fire in Brendok than what meets the eye. So again, Jedi bad. And I don't really like this concept of bad Jedi. Now, I also want to address something. How did May not fry her face off with the lightsaber haircut? Did we just forget the logistics of lightsabers? Yonk. Face melted. Come on. And another question. This series implies the twins have some form of psychic connection, like twins do in real life. So why don't they know each other is alive in life? Why don't they know that? For me, so far, the series feels a bit like an attempt at Star Wars with just the name only. There are good bits like the ship crash dream, the fight between Sol and May, the fire in Brendok, and the fight between May and Jackie. The VFX are okay, and from what I've seen, especially with relation of tomorrow's video, it seems to be doing okay on Disney Plus. Whilst I will be finishing this series, I don't actually regret dropping it back in 2015 as a casual viewer of it. If I had watched The Acolyte without knowing something about Star Wars, I would have been extremely confused as to what was going on. Now, what do you think of the series so far? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll be back tomorrow talking about The Acolyte again with some TikToks about The Acolyte at 4 p.m. Now, chat about it, don't shout about it. Like the video if you would like to like the video. Subscribe if you would like to. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.